this is our group, and we have so many mothers and fathers. So many mothers and fathers that come to our meeting faithfully. So I just needed to recognize, I said Denise been with us forever. At this time, we're going to start. We want you to be quiet. We don't want to hear PD. Let's give another hand. They provided Chief Mantry Office with Eric Adams. Eric Adams. Brian Adams. All these Brian, raise your hand. This hard-working man helped put this together. And to us to have some food. No. Okay. Right now, we're going to call our very own new inspector, because I want y'all to listen. We have names of murdered victims that police have murdered. But guess what? They were murdered. Then we have murdered victims of the police department that was murdered. Murder is murder. Then we have us who's killing each other. And it must stop. So without further ado, I want to bring up our deputy inspector from the 3-2 precinct, Inspector Yakateri. He's going to read off the names of the losses, the murdered officers, sad to say, that have left us.
Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate that pause. I know you wanted to get the name right. Thank you so much, Jackie, and I want to thank the mothers here for giving us this space to read off the names of the officers we've lost in the 32nd precinct. So thank you. These are the names of the officers killed in the line of duty in the 32nd precinct.
Everybody quiet, please. I want y'all to hear the names, please.
Robert Holmes, John McCormick, Martin Maloney, William Miller, Francis Buckley, Otto Motz, Henry Pondorf, John Donahue, Charles Godfrey, Joseph Scott, Joseph Burke, Leroy Shears, Harry Padian, Anthony Buckner, Benjamin Wallace, John Pendergrass, Samuel Katz, Francis O'Rourke, Francis Walsh, James Dandridge, Henry Tustin, Waverly Jones, Joseph Piagentini, Ralph Stanchi, Bruce Anderson. I want to thank you all on behalf of the families of the members that we lost for giving us this space. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I said good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
So my name is Milagros Ortega. And before I start the reading of names, I just want you guys to understand I want the violence to stop. There's nothing more precious than a human life. When you take the life of a human being, you destroy the life of countless others, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, sons, daughters, aunts, uncles, cousins, co-workers, and close friends. So please, on behalf of Harlem Mothers Save, stop the violence. Can I hear it?
Stop the violence.
Say it again.
Stop the violence.
Thank you. So I start with Terrence Ariel, Talik Allen, Nathan Osbrook, Reggie A. Adams, Kenneth A. Archibald, Mike Arnold, Senta Arthur Lee, But if I chop up somebody's name, God forgive me. Sandra Bahanath, Cheyenne Baez, Andrew Benga, Richard A. Bellafleur, Miss Barry, your name is long, I'm sorry. Rest in peace. Shirley Mormon Best, Miss Sandra Bland, Tyreek Burrell, Tyrone Bolden, Natalie Boyd, Shirley Boyd, Jeff Brassel, Shannon T. Brackwhite, Horace K. Brown, Kenneth K. Brown, KB, Michael Brown, Jeffrey Howard Bumper, Barbara Buttles, Christopher Tyshane Bird, Alfred Carpenter, Pauline Carpenter, Kevin Bride, Philando Castile, Louis Cantalon, Akil Christopher, Time Cabo, yes a lot, Randy Colwell, Tyshawn Cookley, Darko Cooper, Isabel Cooper, Stephanie Crawford, Timothy Crump, Tabitha Cruz, Keyshawn Cruton, Stephen Daniels, Shania Davis, Leon Dean, William Dean, Freddie De Jesus, Anna DeLucia, Daquan Dingle, Jeremiah Draper, Christopher Duran, Raekwon, Stat, Bundles, Elliott. You had a lot of names, kid. Louis Encarnacion, Joaquin English, Nigel Irvin, Waleed Fawcett, Junior Guzman Feliz, Marsha Farah, George Floyd, Maserati Fox, Terrell Fountain, Annie M. Pryor, and my son, Francisco Leal. May you rest in peace, son, with all the other families and children that are in heaven. I love you. I will never forget you. Continue to rest in peace.
Good afternoon. William Garcia, Gabriel Cassio Garcia, Devell Gardner Jr., Sean E. Gary Jr., Freddie Gary, Dylan George, and my son, my only son, Victor Gibson Jr., Damian Gilbert, Senior Mary Selena Graham, Ramanley Graham, Elijah K. Green, Kevin Green, Willie Green, Dietrich Griffin, James Lamont Goodrich, Lawrence Goodwin, Tyrell Javon.
Good afternoon, my name is James Gary.
I didn't get the date either, but I was
Starting at 77, Austin Crowley, Justin Hackett, James Halsey,
then I'm here and you get
Aaron Hamilton, David Hamilton, Devon Harrell, Dashon Harvey, Richard Henderson, Brandon Henderson, Darrell Hendrick, Michael Hendrick, Jeremiah Heights, Lawfin Hightower, Carlton Hines, Tony Hilton, and Jeremiah Holton. London. Thank you all for coming out.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
My name is Margarita Torres. They call me Margie. I'm part of Harlem Mother Saved. I've been here for 8 years. I'm going to start reading these names. Randolph Holder, Chris Holly, Patricia Horserace, Nipsey Hussle, Shakia Phil, Michael Jasper, Beverly Jenkins, Craig Jenkins, Dequan Jones, Earl Jones, Taisha Q. Jones, Rahan Levi, Jaquan Lewis, Norma Lounge, my son Javier Lopez, and Onika Shea Lopez. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon, my name is Iris Bailey. I too would like to read the names of our young people, old people that were murdered. Tony Lopez, Darrell P. Lynch, Christopher Manley, my son, Corey Manley, my son, Jihad Marahal, Anthony Martin Jr., Trayvon Martin, Billy Morgan, June Jose Marquez, Antonio Massey, Sabrina Matthews, Lori McConnell, Laquan McDonald, Tony McFadden, Cameron M. McKay, Erica S. McNear, Randy McNear, Felix Medina, Joshua Melendez, Lisha Merritt, Carlene Mija, John R. Middleton, Rufus A. Middleton, Teresa Miller, Sadie P. Mitchell, Lloyd C. Morgan, Benjamin Morris, Kendrick Morrow Jr., Abdul Aziz Muhammad, Tashana Murphy, Darnell Ronnie Napper, Terrence Neal, Charlene Ann Orsi, Victor Ortiz, Lamont Quick, Chris Owens, Portia Owens, Michelle Packard, Christopher Pedro, Joey Pedro, Pierre Paul Jr., Michelle Perez, Hector Perez, Donnie Phillips, Short Plummer, Nashawn Plummer, Rich Porter, Tiara Poyu. May they all rest in peace. Thank you.
I'm Tanya Arroyo. I'm starting at 157. Brandy Curwen, Lisa Marie Ramos, my only son William Anthony Ramos, Kashmir Randall, Tamir Rice, Eleanor Rosie, Esther Reyes, Thomas Reyes, Shaquan Delaraya, Deborah Ann Rivera, Tyreek Rivera, and Valahana Roberts.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicole. Before I get started, I have to give my Jesus. I love him, and he has given me the strength every day. It's hard. It's a club I don't want to invite nobody to at all. But he's given me the strength every single day. I mean, I cry every day. Nobody even knows. I just cry to myself. So for all the young ones that's out there, they're listening and they're in these streets and gangs, please put your guns down. Bring your community together. Okay, you have nieces and nephews growing up. You do not want them to suffer like all of us here are suffering. Okay, so the names, and if I get the names wrong, please forgive me. Deja Robinson, Loren Robinson, Mark Rogers, Beatrice Romo, Mike Anthony Rosado, Tamir E. Rose, Robert Ross, Stephon Ross, Anthony Rowe, Karan Russell, Dante Ryder, Juan Manuel Sanchez, Andre Sanders, Scotty Scott, and my personal angel, my son, Darren Scruggs Jr., Jarrell Christopher Seavey, Angelique Seller, Jason Samiti, Roberto Sierra, Odessa Foy Simon, or Terry Simon, Zane Simon, Jamel Singleton, Kenneth Singleton, Muhammad Singleton, Tyreek Singleton, Sierra Carmen Smith, Curtis Smith, Curtis Lamar Smith, Gerard Smith, Lamont Smith, Michael Spann, Michael Stevenson, Jamel Sturbin, Water Summer, Owen Sutton, Create Sutton, Derek Sutton, Tyrone Tabernacle, Larry J. Tolley, Juwan Travis, Brianna Taylor, Paris Thomas, Michael Thompson, Alberto Torres, Rafael Torres, Jose Torres, Lydia Torres, Lisa Marie Trammell, Shantae Tucker, Dennis Turner, Stephon Little Turner, Louis Vargas, Nicholas Vargas, Karina Vetrano, Calvin Wallace, Calvern Wallace, Myron Walls, Raphael S. Ward, Kata Charles Works, Lita Webb, John K. White, David L. White Jr., John K. White, George White, Terrell Jordan Wigfall, Arnold Smith Williams. I don't know how I wound up with all these pages, but Carl Williams, Chris Williams, Donnie Williams, Freddie Williams, Lucille Williams, Raheem Williams, Robert Williams, Sincere Williams, Glenn Wright, and Shanice Young.
We have a blue Honda license plate Maryland 32751. You are blocking a lot of traffic over here. Okay, everybody got that? Blue Honda 32751, Maryland license plate.
And these are the names of the family members that we have lost. We call ourselves the Moving Forward Crew. You see us laugh, you see us cry, and you know, I be thinking I'm a real jokester. Right, Boza and Willie? But without y'all, especially Willie and Boza, it's others, but y'all have been the wind beneath my wing, along with Lloyd Williams and so many others that have kept me together to do this work. And it's hard. It's hard. My husband knows, and my aunt back there knows when I come home at night, I'm worn out. And it hurts so bad because every day we get a call. The Ethical Society has been so supportive of us because they said, Jackie, you always tell people they're not alone, and that we want you to know that you are not alone. So I say this to say, let me recognize some of the people that have really, really been great. And the first group that's been great is these parents. You heard them. You heard them. You heard the police that was killed, was murdered from Inspector Yakateri. You heard every parent here, and they stood strong. We have a parent that cry all the time. She didn't even cry today. So I know, and you know why she didn't cry? Because she took a look at so many that's hurting, like the new families, the new father. So let me just recognize, and we are almost coming to the end, that we want to do the raisins of the balloon. But let me recognize, I saw Assembly Keith right here. I want to recognize Jeff Eating from NAACP. I saw others show up, so I have to have my spotters. I recognize Yasmin Canina's been my rock, and she is the county committee. No, state, come on, get it right, Jeff. State committee woman, Yasmin. I have William Allen, district leader. We have so many people. Robert Mormon, I see you from Abyssinia. Robert Mormon called me and said, Jackie, Reverend Butt said that you're going to have a visual. And he said, remember my sister, Shirley Best. His sister was murdered. Thank you for being here, Robert. So it's so many others. And once again, the NYPD is strong. And I have a very important announcement to make, because we're trying to bring NYPD and the Harlem community and Washington Heights. You know what? I looked in this lady's face the whole time. Stand up, stand up. This when I layers on people from NYPD from the Bronx. She turning around looking. Okay, say your name and tell them what you do in the Bronx.
Come to the mic.
Come here, McCarthy. And then we have our leader from the Bronx, NYPD. We have some good civilians here.
Sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kathy Morris, and I'm the NYPD's Community Ambassador for the Bronx. It's a pleasure to be here today. I met Miss Jackie Rowe, and the first time I met her, for some reason, we just clicked. But I'm glad to be here today. Thank you.
And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Miguel Santana. I am the NYPD Community Ambassador for Manhattan, so I'm here to serve you. Don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'll definitely open my arms and serve in whatever capacity that I can.
Vanessa, and what Vanessa doing with us? She's an ambassador. From Queens, stand up, Vanessa, from Queens. Wait, this is a citywide. And Marie, this is citywide. Just say a few words, then you have to, I have somebody bossing me back there. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm thankful to be here. I'm Vanessa Jones Hall from Queens. And we're out here just making sure that we are make sure we make a difference in the communities that we serve, and better make sure that we take care of the misunderstanding, miscommunications between the police department and the communities that we serve. And I'm sad to announce that we had a murder this morning in Astoria, Queens, in Astoria houses where I come from, and this is our 5th murder in that community. So we want to also give praise to those families and prayers out to them while we're here honoring everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you. And you're from Brooklyn in the house.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Marie Nelson. I'm the Community Ambassador for Brooklyn South. So I'm here to support as well. Our arms extend to all the boroughs. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Unity in the community. Now, on October 2nd, now I'm going to tell you real quick in English, and then and then you go ahead in Spanish. Wait, I don't even know how to pronounce her name right. Come on. So October 2nd, we've been planning this a long time. I done triple book, double book, but Vosa together. And we had started in Washington Heights, and we'll walk 20 blocks. Mothers and fathers, you hear that? Inspector Yakatari, you hear that? Because you're going to be joining us and walking with us. Chief Rivera, you hear that? That's the chief. We're going to be walking together and uniting together and build our strength around all this gun violence. And so that's on October 2nd. You'll be hearing more about it. And the lady who started this 2-3 years ago, I was a part of it, and now she really made me a part of it. And because she won Harlem in the house, and because we're sick and tired of being sick and tired fighting all this gun violence, you tell them in Spanish.
That would be a punishment. All right, she's the boss. Thank you, Jackie, so much for inviting me and this wonderful cause. Mothers, Harlins, safe. Let's give them a round of applause. I'm very proud to stand here on this wonderful day and for such a wonderful cause. As I listen everybody speaking about what my colleague here and all the parents has gone through, I really start thinking that we don't know how to measure pain. We don't know exactly the definition of pain until we exactly go through it. And let me tell you, the loss of a son or any relative, it's something that it's very hard to cope with. And I think Jackie has been an exceptional example in our society that how you can cure pain using love, using understanding. And I think this is something that is personally invaluable to me. So thank you all. Now I'm going with what the boss just said. Let's do the announcement. So thank you, Jackie. So yes, in 2015, we started in Washington Heights along with the Community Education Council and Community Board 12, the Youth and Education Committee, where I have the privilege to chair that committee. We started something that we call Youth and Police Building Bridges. So the idea behind this is to promote better relationship between the youth that are so important personally to me, and I know for most of you, so we can have that bounding between police officers and the general community, because I think adults, we have a better understanding perhaps how to manage and deal with relationships. So, but kids, not necessarily might be, that level. But anyway, the idea is that my colleague here and myself, we wanted to going for the 5th anniversary to celebrate youth and police building bridges. And we all are asking for your support. And this time, our thing is communities, plural, in unity for peace, understanding, and respect. That is so important. I want to thank you very much, and I hope you meet us. This is going to take place. The walk is going to start on 166 in St. Nicholas, right in front of the Community Board 12. We're going to walk 12 blocks along with the police officers and the entire community. And the idea, this event has 2 parts. The idea is that the walk symbolizes that you're not going to walk with somebody that you may not like or dislike it. So we're going to be walking, asking for that unity and for that respect. When we arrive at the riverbank, and there we're going to have the Partnership Resource Fair. So all are invited, and thank you so much. October 2nd. I'm sorry I sent in my time. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Dr. Palmer, where are you? Now we have a treat, and we are proud to have Ceremonial here with us, and we are going to be blessed with a song. We are going to be blessed with a song, or with the bureau, and you heard him earlier. So take it away.
was grace that brought my liberty. I do not know just why he came to love me so. He looked beyond my faults and saw my need. I shall forever lift my life to Calvary, to view the cross where Jesus died for me. How marvelous the grace that caught my falling soul. He looked beyond my faults and saw my needs. Amazing grace shall always be my song of praise, for it was grace that bought my liberty. I do not know just how he came to love me so. He looked beyond my faults and saw my needs. I shall forever lift my eyes to Calvary, to view the cross where Jesus he died for me. Beyond my faults and saw my needs. He looked beyond my faults and saw my
Gentlemen, take one hit stand, take one, pass them down. Take one.
Executive Officer Max Talentino, where are you, Max? Come. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and my people up in Washington Heights. I am the Executive Officer of Community Affairs, Chief Madry's right hand. I'm not to be confused with Chief Madry. He's just a little taller than I am. But Jackie Rowe Adam, I'm telling you, great things come in small packages, and I can see the work that you're doing here with all the mothers. It's incredible. You know, I have to remind you here that the police department has an unbelievable amount of resources, especially for our youth. The decision of a kid should not be that to either join a gang or to hang out on the city street. There are places they can go. The 15 courts that my boss, Chauncey Parker, talked about, that are created, some of the great programs that are coming. Very soon you're going to have the Harlem Giants coming to this area. You have to get these kids into these programs. Whether through the police department, whether through a community-based organizations, we got to get them out of the street. It's the way we protect them. So I challenge each one of you to grab a kid off a corner and take them somewhere that they can get some learning, some teaching, some ways to move forward. And I'm going to finish up by saying that Sir Robert Peel, many, many moons ago, back in the 1800s, said, police are the community are the police. We're all police officers, all right? We're the only ones that are paid for to take care of what most people can't do on their own. And we get our power from you. So I encourage everybody, we have to respect and promote good police work out there. We have to back up the police, because if we don't back up the police, you're not taking care of your community. I thank you, Jackie, thank you so much. I see eye to eye to you, and that's a good thing. And I bless you for everything that you do, and thank you, everybody. And in particular, I want to thank Chief Rodney Harrison. Let me tell you about Chief Rodney Harrison. I used to work 5 days a week, and thanks to him, I work 7 days a week now. Yes.
You want him to work. Okay.
Aisha. We cannot raise them.
Thank you.
Okay. We're coming to a close, but we have a couple of people we want to recognize, and that's Project Drive is in the house. I see her. Okay, Project Drive is in the house, and we All Really Matters, the 21st annual Gladys.
Tomorrow we're having our 21st Gladys Domestic Violence Memorial March tomorrow. We're asking everybody to come out and wear something. White. She was murdered 21 years ago in her wedding dress. So the marchers will be coming into Harlem tomorrow. We're asking everyone, please come out and honor, wear wedding dress, wear wedding to white. But this one was murdered 21 years ago. So we'll be in front of Harlem State Office Building tomorrow from 12 to 5. Please come out.
Okay. So we have 2 minutes. How many minutes? It's 4 o'clock, so we don't have 2 minutes. And when I say we have 2 minutes, we have 2 minutes for the rest of our lives. And we're going to use each one of them up. But now what we're going to do is we're going to raise the balloons. Not yet. Don't let them go. We're going to move. We're going to really do this, Boza. We're going to make a circle. And we're going to, Dawn, I see you. Thank you for coming out. And before we do that, I just want to recognize Aisha Senko from Street Corner Resources. So I want to thank our Chief Harrison. Oh, there you are. I want to thank our Chief for all he do, and Chief Rivera for all you do, all the NYPD. This has been a great day. Okay, let me tell it. See, let me tell it. Listen, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Okay? I'll pull it. Don't interrupt me. Okay. Now, as I was saying, I'll say it when I'm saying. All right. We had a great day, right, family? Let's keep it great. Because it's all about remembering our murder victims, right, brothers and fathers? Okay, let's do it. So, NYPD, all day, when people come late, they don't know what we say. We love the 32. We love the 32. We love our community affairs citywide. And citywide. Don't go there, Pastor, because you're supposed to be praying. Okay? All right. Oh, I love that. They call me OG. So, today, we want to thank school safety again in the house. We want to thank our very own videography. You know, he's always there. Colado, Peanut Colado. The Graham, where's Officer Graham? Hopefully soon, Detective Graham. We want to thank the borough. We want to thank all the community for coming out. And once again, I want to thank my husband and my aunt, hi Diane, and my aunt B and Sharon for coming out. Mothers and fathers, I'm probably forgetting somebody. Oh, wait a minute. We have some birthdays. We want to say happy birthday to all of birthday people. And I see young Chiyuka. Chiyuka in the house. Raise your hand, Chiyuka. So, can we make the, where's my Big Russ? Big Russ Barbershop. Big Russ, thank you, Big Russ. And let me talk about Canvas and Louisa. Yeah. Let me talk about how hard they work. Oh, leave me alone. I always get people there right. Right, doctor? We want to talk about the work these ladies do. Okay? Keep up the good work. So, Willie Walker, thank you again. And, Dr. Terry, you got a good team. Greenie again. Inspector, soon to be Chief Greenie. Thank you so much. Again. And Carolyn Solomon, I'm just getting the thanks and praise in. I see my old school friend that I grew up with, Carlton Brown. I want to keep it in the community. I want to keep it in, do you want to keep it in the community? Yeah. Boyle Lounge, thank you again. We can't say enough thank yous. And mothers, thank you. Okay, let's make a circle. We're going to raise the balloons. We're going to raise the balloons. Yes. Good job. And my sister Diane, we love you. We lost her last year. Thank you. Okay, can we move the chairs? Can we move the chairs around? Right now, I want to circle and we're going to have prayer by Pastor Ramos. Julie Menon, I love you. Get in that city council. Where's our Gail Brewer? She's going there too. So we have a lot of backup. Anybody I forgot, please forgive me. That's right. Don't charge it to your heart, charge it to your head. Okay. So we're going to have prayer and then we're going to have... He's been supervising me the whole time. Brian, where are you? We're going to have prayer and then we'll do ceremonial again. And for those that have the red wristbands, we have food over there provided by NYPD, hamburgers and fights. We having a picnic, a cookout. So please, you must have a red band. I hope you have one. So, as we raise the balloons, ceremonial will pray the bugle. And after Pastor Ramos pray, we'll raise the balloons. Thank you. Go ahead, Pastor.
Thank you, Mother. This is what community is all about. This is what it looks like. This is what brings everyone together, unfortunately, under these circumstances. But let me just remind you on today that the strength that comes from these mothers and fathers, these community advocates, this mother right here, continues to move forward in the lives of those that are no longer here physically, but with us spiritually, always in our hearts. Amen? Amen. The Bible declares in Proverbs 3:27, do not withhold good from those whom it is due, when it is in your power to act. This is action right here. This is action at the forefront. So we're not going to withhold it. We know that the gates of heaven are open. We know that everyone's name that went forth today is at the mercy and the bounds of the living God. And we know that we will see them on the other side. Just say to your neighbor right now, I'll see you in the morning. I'll see you in the morning.
I'll see you in the morning.
Let us pray. Gracious and eternal Father, we come before you at the mercies of your throne. We thank you for allowing this to happen, not 1 year, not 2 years, but perpetually, so that our voices can be raised. You told us to use our pray in Hebraic. You said use the pay, that is our mouth. You told us to use the shofar to blow the horn like Joshua did in the walls of Jericho, and everything came tumbling down. We are blowing the shofar, Harlem, and beyond. And this gun violence is going to stop, Lord God. You are putting us on the marching ground. We are boots on the ground, hand in hand, arm in arm, and spirit by spirit. We thank you in the matchless and mighty name of your Son, who shed his precious blood so that we may live. The word says we will live and not die to declare the works of the living God. So we thank you on today. We bless you for these lives. They were not in vain. We will continue on in their spirit. We will march on for them. And we know that we know in our Noah, we know that the violence will stop. We pray all these things in the mighty and matchless name of Jesus Christ. Bless these families. Bless this mother. Bless NYPD. Bless the organizations. Everyone that has come forth, God. Put your blessings on them. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance to you. Turn his face toward you and give you peace. And lastly, Father God, bless the leader of NYPD, Commissioner Dermishan. God bless you.
Well, he know how to end. He know how to put the ending to it and let people know that it's hope, and NYPD and other community organizations cares willing about our community. He's becoming a regular Harlem night up in here. So, without further ado, one of the most caring, he's one of the most caring commissioners that we have had, and working very closely with us. And let me tell you, he's having fun. None other than our very own commissioner. Where's my husband? He loves commissionership. Our very own Commissioner Dermishan.
I don't know how to follow that up, Jackie. Jackie reached out to me last week, and she knew I would be here. I just didn't know exactly how I would get here. But Jackie, you knew I would be here for you. There really isn't anything more important than an event like this. So I can tell you that to all the NYPD members, and I just walked past, Rodney and the CO here, CO Yakatelli, we're here for you. And we are trying as hard as we can, and we will continue to try as hard as we can to fight for the community. To everyone here and that couldn't make it here, that has lost someone, just if we could just, I'm sure you've had it already, but if we could have just a moment of silence. So we have had a real tough 18 months or so, and it is going to take every one of us, police, clergy, community organizations, block by block, working together. And today is about saying we haven't forgotten and we will never forget those we have lost, and what they could have done. And to me, that's the biggest tragedy that we see every day. What's lost that could have been, and the possibilities that are lost. So while we haven't forgotten them, and we're here to honor their memory, we're also here to say something else. Enough is enough. And too much. Nothing is worth and nothing is solved by taking a gun out on the streets. Absolutely nothing. Show me a time when the end was better after you took a gun out. So enough is enough. Put the guns down, work through it. Whether it's calling the police, whether it's calling, community solutions, whether it's calling violence interrupters, just call someone. But look for an alternate way to deal with the gun, because it's never going to work out well. To the members of Harlem here, thank you for considering me, Jackie, an honorary member of Harlem. I love it. And we will continue to be here and fight with you. God bless you all.
Now you see, Julie, Commissioner, that's our next city council. Julie Minnie, you know Julie Minnie? Yes, she's gonna fight for us. Yes, she is. Okay, this is it. Everybody get ready. Get serious. We gon' quiz Doctor, you gonna help me and Commissioner, we gonna do the countdown to raise the balloons, and thank you, Jake McGee from the 2-8. He's always there for us. Okay, on the count. We gonna start from which number we gonna start from? Baby, come up here, please.
Ten.
9.
My favorite number. 8.
7.
6.
5.
4.
2.
Okay, now don't nobody else call out no number. I said out for me. Come up here, Alvin, and call 2. Don't y'all pick yourself to call no number.
2.
That's what I'm saying. Yasmin, come and call the last number.
1.
Not yet. Here's Bob McCullough, baby, in the house. Bob McCullough. That's how we do it, Bob. He's elected. So now we gonna say 0 and let him go. Come on, Bob. You gonna say it.
It's an honor for me to be here. And also, the commissioner is my favorite commissioner, and Rodney is my favorite chief of police. I don't know where he is. He might be hiding. Where is my favorite chief of police? He's hiding. And the commissioner, because the commissioner came to one of our fairs, Jackie, at Colonel Young Park. He came ready to dress to play with us. So you made him an honorary Harlem Night. You are on time, girl. Oh, yeah.